On a quiet summer night in South Carolina, a desperate 911 call shattered the silence of a vast hunting estate.
Moselle Road. I need the police to answer to me. My wife and child got badly.
Okay, you said 4147 Moselle Road in Allison?
Sir?
You said 4147 Moselle Road in Allison?
Yes, sir. 4147 Moselle Road.
Stay on the line with me, okay? Yes, sir. Stay on the line with me, okay?
At first, it seemed like a tragic and mysterious crime. A grieving husband, a shattered family, a killer still out there. But as investigators looked closer, they discovered something far darker. This was not just a murder case. It was a story of power, greed, lies, corruption, and a family whose name had ruled an entire region for nearly a century. And the man calling for help that night was not just any husband. He was Alex Murdaugh, a powerful lawyer from one of South Carolina's most influential families. What followed would become one of the most shocking true crime cases in modern American history. Behind the image of wealth and prestige, investigators uncovered a web of secrets that included stolen millions, suspicious deaths, a staged roadside shooting, and a courtroom scandal so serious that even after he was convicted, the verdict was later thrown out. This is the story of the Alex Murdaugh double murder case. For generations, the Murdaugh name carried enormous power in the Lowcountry region of South Carolina. Alex's great-grandfather, grandfather, and father all served as top prosecutors in the area. For almost 100 years, their family was deeply connected to the legal system. They were wealthy, respected, feared by some, and many people believed the family had influence far beyond the courtroom. Alex Murdaugh seemed to have it all. He was a successful attorney, married to his wife Maggie, and they had two sons, Buster and Paul. To outsiders, they looked like the perfect Southern family. But beneath the surface, everything was falling apart. By 2021, Alex was living a double life. While he maintained the image of a respected lawyer, he was secretly drowning in financial problems. Investigators would later discover that Alex had been stealing money for years. Not just from strangers, but from his own clients. People who trusted him. Victims who had suffered injuries and were waiting for legal settlements. Even the sons of his longtime housekeeper. Prosecutors later said he stole millions of dollars through fraud. And on June 7, 2021, the day of the murders, his law firm had reportedly confronted him over missing money. The walls were closing in. His financial crimes were about to be exposed. And then, that same night, tragedy struck. That evening, Alex claimed he visited his elderly mother and returned home to the family's sprawling Moselle estate in Islandton. According to him, when he arrived back, he found his wife Maggie and their youngest son Paul lying near the dog kennels. Both had been shot multiple times. Paul, only 22 years old, had been killed with a shotgun. Maggie, 52, had been shot with a rifle. Two different weapons. A violent scene. At 10:06 p.m., Alex called 911. His voice sounded emotional and panicked. He told dispatchers that his wife and son had been shot badly. The call quickly spread across news outlets, and sympathy poured in for the family. At that point, many believed the Murdaugh family had become victims of some unknown enemy, but investigators soon noticed troubling inconsistencies. One of the first things Alex told police was that he had not been near the dog kennels before finding the bodies. He insisted he had not seen Maggie and Paul that evening before leaving to visit his mother. That statement seemed simple enough, but it would later become the key to the entire case. Unknown to Alex, Paul had recorded a short video on his cell phone just minutes before the murders. The video was not meant to capture a crime. It was just a casual clip near the kennels. But in the background, investigators said they could hear three voices: Paul's, Maggie's, and Alex's. That meant Alex had been at the kennels shortly before the killings. It directly contradicted his story. That cell phone video would become one of the strongest pieces of evidence against him. As investigators dug deeper, they discovered that this family was already surrounded by scandal. In 2019, Paul Murdaugh had been involved in a deadly boat crash. After a night of drinking, Paul allegedly crashed a boat, killing 19-year-old Mallory Beach. The case brought public scrutiny to the Murdaugh family. A civil lawsuit followed. Many people believed the family was trying to use their influence to protect Paul from serious consequences. The pressure on Alex was growing, and that was not the only suspicious death linked to the family. In 2015, a young man named Stephen Smith was found dead in the middle of a rural road. His death was officially ruled a hit-and-run. But rumors spread for years that the case may have connections to the Murdaugh family. When investigators began looking into Alex, they reopened Stephen's case, Then there was Gloria Satterfield. She had worked as the Murdaugh family housekeeper for years. In 2018, she died after what was described as a fall at the family home. It later emerged that Alex had allegedly stolen settlement money that was supposed to go to Gloria's sons after her death. As more details surfaced, the public began to wonder how many secrets this family was hiding. 3 months after Maggie and Paul were killed, another shocking event happened. Alex called 911 again. This time, he said he had been shot in the head while changing a tire on the side of the road. He survived with only minor injuries. At first, it appeared someone was trying to kill him too. But investigators soon uncovered a bizarre truth. The roadside shooting was allegedly staged. Authorities said Alex had arranged for a distant cousin to shoot him as part of a suicide-for-hire insurance scheme. The plan, according to investigators, was for Alex to die so his surviving son, Buster, could collect a $10 million life insurance payout. That revelation changed everything. Public sympathy vanished. Now many people believed Alex was capable of anything. The murder investigation intensified. Prosecutors built a case almost entirely from circumstantial evidence. There was no eyewitness, no confession, and no officially recovered murder weapons. But there was digital evidence, and it painted a damning picture. Phone records showed activity around the time of the killings. Vehicle data tracked Alex's movements. His phone suddenly became active after a period of silence. His steps, calls, and messages were analyzed minute by minute. Investigators argued that his actions that night were not those of a grieving husband. They were the actions of someone trying to create an alibi. July 2022, Alex Murdaugh was formally charged with the murders of Maggie and Paul. The arrest stunned the country. A man who had once prosecuted cases was now standing accused of killing his own family. His defense team insisted he was innocent. They argued there was no direct evidence, no blood on him, no murder weapon, no eyewitnesses. They said investigators had rushed to judgment because Alex's financial crimes made him look bad. But prosecutors believed they had enough. And in January 2023, the trial began. The courtroom became the center of national attention. News channels broadcast daily updates. Millions followed the testimony. The prosecution's argument was simple. Alex was desperate. His financial crimes were about to be exposed. He feared losing everything: his law career, his reputation, and his family legacy. So prosecutors argued he murdered Maggie and Paul to distract from his collapsing life and gain sympathy. One of the biggest moments came when Alex took the stand in his own defense. That decision shocked legal experts. Under oath, Alex admitted he had lied to investigators about being at the kennels. He blamed his lies on paranoia and distrust of law enforcement. He denied killing his wife and son. But many jurors found his testimony unconvincing. The prosecution repeatedly played Paul's cell phone video. That short clip became impossible to ignore. The son, unknowingly, may have captured the evidence that helped convict his own father. After 6 weeks of testimony, the jury deliberated for less than 3 hours. On March 2, 2023, Alex Murdaugh was found guilty of 2 counts of murder. The next day, he was sentenced to 2 consecutive life sentences. The judge told him that his lies and actions had destroyed his family and his legacy. For many, it seemed the story was over. A once powerful legal dynasty had fallen. Justice had been served. But then came another twist. That in 2024 and 2025, Alex's legal team appealed the conviction. They accused Culleton County Clerk of Court Becky Hill of improper conduct during the trial. According to the defense, Hill had spoken to jurors about the case outside official proceedings. They claimed she encouraged them to watch Alex's body language and pushed them toward a guilty verdict. At first, the allegations sounded unbelievable. But the investigation into Hill uncovered serious misconduct. Authorities later said she sought publicity from the case and used her connection to the trial to promote a book she was writing. In December 2025, Becky Hill pleaded guilty to obstruction of justice, perjury, and misconduct in office related to her actions. That guilty plea changed everything. Then, in May 2026, the South Carolina Supreme Court made a stunning decision. The court unanimously overturned Alex Murdaugh's murder convictions. The justices ruled that Becky Hill's interference with jurors had compromised his right to a fair trial. The verdict was vacated. A new trial was ordered. Suddenly, the man once convicted of murdering his wife and son was no longer legally guilty of those crimes. The case that had already shocked the nation became even more controversial. Was Alex a manipulative killer who got a second chance because of court corruption? Or had a rushed investigation and a tainted trial sent the wrong man to prison? The debate reignited across the country. As of 2026, Alex Murdaugh remains behind bars. Even though his murder convictions were overturned, he is still serving a separate 40-year federal prison sentence for financial fraud and related crimes. Prosecutors have announced plans to retry him for the murders of Maggie and Paul. That means the story is not over. Another trial could happen before the end of 2026. And once again, the world may watch as the secrets of the Murdaugh family are pulled back into the spotlight. At the center of it all remains one haunting question. Did Alex Murdaugh murder his wife and son to save himself from ruin? Or is there still more to this story that the public does not know? For now, the truth remains buried beneath lies, power, and a family legacy that has already been destroyed. What do you think about this case? Do you believe Alex Murdaugh really killed his wife and son? Or do you think the overturned conviction raises serious doubts about what really happened that night? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this true crime story and want more deep investigations into shocking real cases from around the world, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss our next documentary. And if you found this case as disturbing and unbelievable as many others have, share this video with someone who loves true crime stories. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next case.